All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Chris's Sports Corner. Real quick, man. Hope everybody's having a great Thursday. One more day to Friday. So that's always a good thing for some. Hope everybody's just doing good, man. Election time's coming up. Hope everybody go out there and get their vote. Make your voices heard, I'm not here to say how you should vote. Just vote. Get your voice heard. Get what you want to see, who you want to see in, and not just the primary election, but all other elections. It's more than, not just the presidential election, all of them, guys. Anyway, that's enough about that. That's about all I want to say on that. Let's talk about it, man. Should the Dallas Cowboys do just start a rebuild? So, first of all, that would mean, because, I've been asked this question. Hey, man, should they tank for maybe Trevor Lawrence? Should they just rebuild this thing? Well, I'm gonna answer this question, and I'm gonna step outside of me and what I personally believe in the aspect of, because I don't think it's players, guys. I really don't. You could say, tank for Trevor Lawrence or, rebuild this thing. It's not. They've went through how many cycles now with the same results? I'm content in saying it's not a matter of rebuilding. It's a matter of culture. You can rebuild the culture in Dallas, then I'm all for it. Hold on, guys. It's a little dark. Okay, there we go. All right, sorry about that. If we can rebuild a culture in Dallas, that's what that's what I want to see happen more than anything. I really, I'm stuck on that. Maybe it's just me, but I'm really stuck on it. I really feel like the culture itself is just not conducive to success. I just feel like it's like Jimmy Johnson said, it's like a country club, man. I don't see it being a culture that's conducive to winning, right? It just don't look that way. All right, but okay, so if you say, all right, but that's where I feel actually the problem is. But let's say if we say let's rebuild this thing. Well, for me, if I'm rebuilding, you can tank for Trevor Lawrence. That's fine. But I don't care if you got Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning. It don't matter. That offensive line is just bad. And you got Lyle Collins, Zach Martin, but that's pretty much about it. Listen, if you follow my channel, you've seen me sit here and pound the distance that Tyron Smith is done. He just cannot stay healthy. And we keep hoping and hoping. We don't let him practice. He do as minimum as possible so he can be healthy, and he still miss games every season. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. So you got to start with the offensive line. To me, that's where I would start. If I had the number 1, number 2 pick, and these are all hypothetical scenarios, I would start in the offensive line, man. Because you can say, well, if they get let's say they get Trevor Lawrence, and you got him on a rookie contract for 2 or 3 years, which will save you money. But let me say this: you're gonna eventually have to pay to him too, and you're gonna. The problem is, and I've seen this with not just the Cowboys, a lot of teams. They draft these players, and then when they live up to the expectation you draft them at, now you want to franchise tag them and don't want to pay them. So you're gonna have to pay them. And to me, now I get it. If you want to rebuild, if you want to tear it down and rebuild, and you say we're gonna start with Trevor Lawrence, that's fine. That's fine. But you got to automatically know, this is just my personal opinion, there's going to be an issue with Zeke Elliott. Because Zeke and Dak are too close. So if Zeke feel like you, but if you rebuild, you get rid of him too, right? I'm just asking. Because honestly, I look at the Las Vegas Raiders, and I think that when John Gruden came in and he got rid of Khalil Mack and he got rid of Amari Cooper, people are like, whoa. No, this is the culture I want here. And I know these guys are good, I don't know if I'd have got rid of Khalil Mack, but hey, I'm just saying. I noticed these players are good, but the culture has to be this. And the Cowboys, from what, like I said, I think they need to rebuild the culture. They need to create a new culture. Now, the reason I'm not going to expand on that too much is because we're changing the culture. I mean, changing the minimum GM, but that's also the owner, and he ain't going to fire himself, and he actually think he's doing a great job. So, there ain't nothing you can do about that. But what I will say is, if you're gonna tear it, I would start in the trenches, man. That's just me. If I'm building, if I got a blank slate and I say, well, I'm starting my team, I'm starting in the trenches. I'm starting offensive line. Because an offensive line can make an ordinary quarterback look great if he got all day to throw. Cause think about it. If you got a good offensive line, let's say you got DiNucci back there, and he just sitting back there, and he just waiting for Amari. What's the other guy? Amari, Lamb, Gallup. He just waiting for these guys to get open, and he can just sit back there. He's gonna look pretty good, you know. So I would start with the O line. That's been Dallas' calling card since the Emmett days. That offensive line, and I don't think that should change. You look at the Cowboys' best years. What was it? What did they have? The best offensive line. So I would start with the offensive line and build from there. So because the way it's looking, we're gonna end up with a pretty high draft pick. I would say get you an offensive lineman, man. Get you a stud offensive lineman and just go from there. And because if you get the offensive line time to work, you know, I think the quarterback play automatically picks up. Zeke automatically can play better. Those receivers can definitely get open. So I'm starting with my offensive line and whoever I can get in. Listen, because for example, all right, now again, we playing hypothetical. If you get let's say the number 2, I don't like it, number 1 pick, and you trade back and say I'm gonna get some other quality 5th, whatever rounds, right? I mean, whatever picks in the first round. Well, you get you a solid offense. You patch up the offensive line, get you a stud up there. You get you a quality corner, a quality safety. See, that's another thing no one's talking about. Byron Jones, we really missing him because we didn't give Byron Jones credit for how good he was against other receivers last year. And so he pretty much cut off part of the field. Now, he did give us some plays, but for the most part, he was shutting down receivers. And so that part was taken away, which means the other side got picked on a lot, but it still was, you know, Byron Jones with his blanket coverage. So do I think the Cowboys should shut this thing down, get ready for a rebuild? If you're going to rebuild a culture, it got to be a cultural change. And if Mike McCarthy is the guy, right? Because Jerry seems very adamant that he is. If he is the guy, say, Mike, this is your team. Mike, create your culture. Create your culture. See, you want Mike McCarthy to come in and have the Dallas Cowboys culture. That's not his culture. He's last time he coached in Green Bay, the Tundra. You know, gritty, grimy. It wasn't pretty and flashy. It wasn't Dallas, Texas, and the Star, and all of that crap. It was gritty, grimy. It was toughness. Now, towards the end, there, you know, other reports. But I'm just saying, in my opinion, it got to start with the culture, man. So, of course, if that's my opinion. But if you are going to rebuild, I would start with the offensive line, that secondary. That's where I'm going. So that's my take, guys. That's what I think. With that being said, guys, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, you guys be great, man.